Coming up on Talk is Cheap, are you planning a trip to the national park in your area? You might want to watch this episode first. Oh, and who has the softer hands, Pete or Dan? Coming up. Talk is Cheap, where cheap is talk and talk is cheap. My name is Dusty Long. I'm going to be your host today. With me, as always, to my direct left is Dan Hohlfeld.
How you doing?
Not bad, Dan. Yourself?
Oh, very good.
I have a good weekend so far?
So far, so good.
It hasn't rained too bad, has it?
No, not too bad.
Absolutely.
But we kind of needed some anyway, so.
True. And then, of course, to my very far left is the chicken killer himself, Pete. Hey, Pete, how are you doing today?
Good. Well, as you just kind of alluded to, fresh off a day of butchering chickens, so looking forward to relaxing a little bit.
And what were you just telling me about your hands being?
I think it's called lanolin. It's the stuff that's in the fat and skin of the chickens. Just really good for your skin. They're so soft. It's great. It's awesome. If you can see that on the internet.
You know how the saying goes, you could stick your head up a butcher's ass.
Would you rather just take their word for it? Okay, well, right. Excited. Off to a great start, as always.
So today we're going to be covering a topic that was submitted by Lauren Hansen, a friend of ours. We all talked to her. And
we interviewed her on this.
I don't, but these two do.
Oh, I interviewed her, I guess I should say.
Yep.
A while ago on
She's
QHG.
pretty cool. Yep.
Yeah, very, very cool chick. And she wanted us to cover people missing in national parks. So guess what I did? I researched it.
Oh, all right. Wow.
It's a first.
I did my job.
It's a first. All right. I'm
That's the end of the show.
Yeah. See you next time, everybody.
Well, I beat the hell out of it. Anyway, so first thing I'm going to cover, though, because after doing the research, you know me, I had to go on both sides of the coin. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at a USA Today article, missing people, or by the numbers, missing persons in the USA. This is a 2014. It's a little bit older, a couple of years, but it gets my point across. So as of right now, well, as of that year, 83,957 missing people were in the United States. This is about average per year. It's about 100,000 people missing.
As of, when did this start, the census?
I don't even know.
The article was published in 2014, September 2014.
Yeah, I think the FBI article I have.
Oh, the data set is accurate as of September 1st.
Yeah. So, I mean, on average, right there, 90,000 people are missing in the United States at any given time. That's a pretty huge number. 50,000 are adults, 33,388 are under 18, 43,000 are male, 40,000 are female.
Wow.
47,000 are white. That includes Hispanics. 27,000 are black, and 5,503 are not specified.
That's a lot of fucking people.
Oh yeah, this is, getting away from like all of it. Just the statistics of the amount of people that are missing at one point in time, like right now, is pretty monumental. It is very. It was very. I was very impressed, and I don't want to use that word, but it had a lot of weight to it when I started doing this research. Like, there's a lot of people that just go missing,
Yep.
And then, of course, when I was doing the research, I'm going to get a little off topic. When you're doing the missing people's research, I found you got abductions, sex slave that's going on. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of
Donald Marshall shit there.
Yeah.
There's even a an app, I guess, that you can go ahead and take pictures of your hotel room. Let's say you go on vacation, you take pictures of your hotel room, and then it goes to this database. And it goes to this database, and that database is the FBI uses to find sex slaves. Because what they'll do is they'll take the woman or man or whoever it is, or girl or boy, because it's pretty sick, and they put them in hotels. They take pictures of them, and they sell them and bid them.
Sure.
Yeah, you talked about that before. Was that on Social Fix you talked about?
I think that might have been on Social Fix. Yeah. So, I mean, there's that going on, too. So, I mean, it's kind of scary. I mean, the amount of people that are missing or abducted. 750,000 cases are reported each year on average. In 2013, there was 627,911, and that was down 24%.
Okay.
The FBI report I have shows a steady decline every single year, so that's a good thing. That decline is definitely something that we would like to see of. So we have that. I wonder if I still have. Yeah. So here's this is the 2016 FBI unidentified and missing person statistics. And I don't know, you can probably see it, but missing and unidentified, this started in 1990.
What is the unidentified column?
The unidentified is when they find a body, but they don't know who, what, where, when, why, or how.
It's just like shredded and you can't tell what the fuck it is.
Which is really funny. Well, not funny. God, I'm using the wrong words left and right. Which is really interesting, only because in some of the cases that I read about these people missing, there's people that were like literally just found with their pants around their ankles, half a leg, and half the skull fragment or something, like leaning up against a tree. So there's a lot of these weird things in the national parks where, like a bear just destroyed him and then ate him. I don't know. And there was even one, I don't even know if I have it up here. I might have it on my phone because I have a lot more notes there. But there's even one of a woman that looked like she was thrown from a cliff in a national forest, but then was raped after she was thrown, when she hit the bottom and died. And that was just, I read that and I was kind of weirded.
What the hell?
Even more out. But yeah, there's some weird shit.
Messed up.
As you can plainly tell, though, in 2012, you get down to these triple digits, and they keep on lowering in the unidentified. I figured forensic science is doing a better job nowadays.
Sure.
And then, of course, the numbers here have been steadily declining, too. These are 800,000 all through here, then 7,
small,
then 6.
and it kind of went up, and then it kind of came down.
Yeah. So, interestingly enough, they're doing a better job finding people, but then there are some people that don't want to be found. That's just the thing.
Oh, yeah.
This one is just an article that I found that has a lot of different people that were missing. The ones I highlighted, the ones we're going to kind of just hit really quick, were the ones that they never found them. So let's see, we got one that they found, and then this is Morgan in 2015, disappeared in the Grand Canyon, 22 years old. After 6 days, they weren't able to find him. And he was one of the guides on the Grand Canyon River rafting trips. So this was an actual guide. This is 2015 again, 16-year-old, just disappeared, never been found. That guy was found. This gentleman, he was not. He just disappeared. He took a solo trip to the Grand Canyon
National Park.
Yep. And needed to be back with Mother Earth, is what he said.
And a lot happened or a lot disappear at the Grand Canyon.
Yes, very much so. Friends say that they love the national park. This, what was this? Truitt? I don't know how to say it. Catherine. But anyway, disappeared, never found. This guy was found, but he was, but you can plainly tell the ones that we're covering here, there's only been 4 that have been found, and we've already covered about 8 or 9. So this gentleman, again, never found. They did find his car. That's one of them. There's another one where they find another car. So not to get into too many of these, I got more on my phone I'm going to read. But, just these people they just vanish, right? Interesting. So, Pete, you brought one up. That's by the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, I don't know how to say this guy's name.
Paulides.
When I was going to start researching this, Pete brought up a young boy that was taken. This is pretty famous, I suppose, because I didn't know about it, but Pete did, of course. I forgot the kid's name now. Oh, wait. No, I don't.
Because when Dusty had mentioned he was going to do something on missing persons in national parks, I was like, oh, well, there's a book called Missing 411 that talks about people.
It's a series of books.
Yeah, that talk about people disappearing in the wilderness. And some folks in the Sasquatch realm have drawn some comparisons and said some of these look like potentially they were abducted by a
Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more or less.
So I'm going to cover that because that was a really interesting story.
Okay, you got numbers on that one?
Actually, I'm going to go through some numbers I have first here. Most of the people that disappeared, though, when they're children, are 20 months to 12 years old, or the elderly, which is 74 to 85. Excuse me. So most of them you're looking at younger or older. Now that makes sense. Young kids will walk off. They get lost. They don't know what to do. Older folk will go out there. Same thing, 50% of the children who go missing are found dead. The ones who are found usually miles away where they disappeared from, in areas seemingly impossible for them to get to there on their own. There's been a couple of these where there was a group hiking, what was it? A mother and father, and the young boy ended up disappearing. Then, like 2 miles away, there's another couple hiking up a trail, and they saw this kid up on top of this like mountain range or hilltop or whatever, quite a ways away, but they could see him sitting there. And they thought, well, what kind of a parent, would let their kid sit up there like that?
Yep.
Came back down, didn't think anything of it, found out this kid was missing, so they went back and said, hey, we saw a kid out there. And people, of course, were like, well,
And he was still alive up there.
that's what they said when they saw him. They said, well, that's like 2 or 3 miles away. How'd the kid, and that was within like hours. I mean, this kid, if it was true, the kid went like 2 or 3 miles away on top of a mountain range within just an hour or two. Of course, they never found the kid, and that was just the end of that. So you have these really weird. There's a spider right there.
Oh, shit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I can see a little bastard up there. All right. Well, that's the first ever kill on Talk is Cheap.
Yep.
Live.
I thought you did one a couple weeks ago.
Oh, did I kill something?
There was something.
I couldn't help myself because it's just dangling in the white light. I'm just like, get away from me. Where was I? Okay, this is really interesting. This is covered on here too, or on one of my other ones. So what you were talking about, Pete, was a 6-year-old boy disappeared in 1969 in the Great Smoky Mountains. Yeah. 2 families with the same last name of Martin happened upon each other. They both had young boys. Both the boys wanted to go play, so that the parents said, "Yeah, go ahead, have fun." The father went ahead and called the boys in to eat. Only one boy showed back up. So the boys
They weren't
followed.
together.
Apparently not. I don't know what happened. Of course, the boys went out to play. Only one came back when they called. Oh, they were playing hide and seek.
Okay.
I think that's what I read in another article. And now, Pete, you tell me if I'm wrong on any of this.
No, I think that if memory serves me correctly, because it's been a while since I've looked into it. They were going to try to play a joke on the adults, and so the one kid went up straight to the adults, and the other one was going to try to sneak around in the woods to scare him or something. And then when he got back, the kid just never showed up.
Yeah. Okay, so I knew something.
I think
like
that
happened,
was
right?
if it wasn't this particular case, there was one like that. Yeah.
Okay. So of course the parents called the boys. The father got upset, went to find help. A rainstorm began to fall as he ran down the hill. Now this is interesting because a lot of the conspiracy side of it, a lot of these things happen when the kids are missing. Weird weather always pops up, rainstorms, because it always washes away the footsteps. Now, I don't know how true that is because I didn't see any more information, but it was just something that was put out there, and I thought, well, okay, people like stuff like that. I'll cover.
Okay,
but, and that's the other thing is
causation is not necessarily correlation, but that'd be an interesting stat to see.
It was interesting. They talk about weird lights, and things like that. But of course, if you're missing somebody, you're going to take into everything's going to be in consideration. So rainstorm fell. Where was I here? Oh, and down the hill, there's a family with the last name of Key. This family heard a sickening scream and looked up to see what they thought was a man hiding in the bushes. This was, where was this, a mile or so away? I can't remember. So anyway, there's this big search for the boy. They can't find him, blah, blah, blah. It just goes on and on. The boy's family's distraught. The Key family comes up, says, hey, we heard or found, we heard the scream.
Wait, you just jumped over. So they heard a noise.
That's all they said. The Key family was down the hill or like a mile away.
Heard a scream.
They heard a scream.
But
they looked up and they saw what they thought was a man hiding in the bushes. And they also say that it looked like he was carrying something.
But it was a Sasquatch.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know, because this is where it gets a little interesting. This is where...
the certain Sasquatch proponents should say, yep, that's what it is. But it's, obviously not confirmed or anything like that. But that's where the likeness comes in.
Am I going to find this or not? That's the really funny thing. I think I could do the rest of this without my notes. Because this was fun. Well, I'm using the wrong words.
That's the third time. You're a sick bastard, man.
The research got fun at this point. Park rangers didn't carry weapons with them for the longest time until a wild man. Now, this is where some of these missing people, they think, actually go to these national parks. They go out there. They live off the land. And there was a park ranger that got into an altercation at one of those towers in the middle of the forest, like something.
The ranger towers, fire towers. Yeah.
So he got in an altercation with a man dressed in furs, and the little man stabbed him. And now they carry weapons because of these wild men that are up there living off the land. They're dressed in furs. So now you have...
Why wouldn't they have ever thought to carry a weapon though with some of the wildlife. If
I think the weapon, because as a park ranger, I think they had like weapons in like the cabins and those other places, but they didn't carry them on them because a ranger is supposed to be, that friendly, welcoming type of person. I don't know, but that's just what I read. I thought it was, but the point of it is the wild man. So here you have the Sasquatch, which everyone's like, a lot of the kids are wearing bright clothing. A lot of the kids are being taken right from behind their parents that they're following or something. I mean, that sounds like, if we talk about Sasquatch and abductions and things like that, okay, I can see the similarities. But now you have this other component, this little Yahtzee dice throw in there.
Yeah, because there's documented cases of feral humans, not so many documented cases of Sasquatch,
Very true.
So, but I mean, it's amazing if you're young and you go out in the woods, you like just revert back to so much primal stuff. And so I can see where the, wild man, Sasquatch, and some of the native tongues are interchangeable terms.
Yeah,
so.
It's very crazy. And there's recorded things of these wild men attacking people.
And they're dressed in furs.
Dressed in furs.
Some are.
So they're trying to look like Sasquatch? Is that the whole...
They're just
no. I mean, if you
caveman in it, man.
These things aren't going to last forever. The only thing you're going to do is you're going to kill a bunch of animals and make a nice, furry trench coat. So,
yep. Yeah, if you make it right, it's waterproof. And
they
got the coon hat on?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, and that's being, and that's when you kind of go to this little bit darker edge of things, and it's like, well, if you're out there all by yourself, and these guys might be taking these people and either eating them, raping them, who knows. But you have this other component out there of these wild men, these people that are missing, but then, they just go back and live off the land and whatnot.
Sure.
I mean, you also have, with the missing people thing too, these national parks are a great place to get lost, but in a good way, or not a good way, but in a way that you don't want to be found. It doesn't take very much to have a new social security number and new ID made, and you can walk in a national park and walk out the other one as a different person. And that's been documented. People have just been done with this life. Go down the dark web, buy yourself your own, new identity, and you walk out and you'll never be seen again. And that person's dead. You know?
Disappeared, and
I think that's something we'll have to do time our careers are done on this show.
We'll all go to the national park and then we just won't come back.
We'll get as many credit cards as we can, get the cash advances out, put them in a suitcase, and we'll just go missing.
It's like, hey, aren't you the guy from...
Right?
Yeah.
So Paul Aldi's, this ex-cop from San Jose. Thank you, good gentleman, California. He's the founder of the North American Bigfoot Search. He also, though, writes these Missing 411 series books. And they all talk about the national parks. And I did read some excerpts and things on the internet about it. It was actually pretty good. He never once, in any of the Missing 411 series, he never once ever says Sasquatch, Bigfoot, or anything.
No, he doesn't.
He does keep that very... He does say, there could be a paranormal side of these things. There could be something. But he never does say, this is what it is. So I have to give the guy a lot of props to keep those two things very separate. It gives him a little bit. The other interesting thing is rangers will go ahead and talk to him. Oh, that boy we were talking about, the Martins, right?
Yep.
Okay, so they kept on. Oh, I don't know if this is on this. It's on my phone. Watch. Okay. But anyway, so the Martins, this is a big case because the Green Berets show up. Now, this isn't the first time the Green Berets have shown up to a search and rescue. And they even searched a different area. They took over. They didn't help the Rangers. They just said, hey, we're coming in here. We're going to do our own shit. Just leave us the hell alone. Ended up not finding anything. Now, this isn't the first time. Green Berets have been called in a few times, but not all the time, which is interesting, too. You get a young boy missing 1 year, and they'll go out there and try to search. And the next year,
that was a piece. But supposedly the reason for that is that they were in some sort of training thing down at a base nearby, so they just happened to be in town or something like that. Was, I think, the reasoning that was given there.
The Green Berets showed up, took over the search. They said, no, we couldn't find anything. Mr. Martin, the father, stayed in the park 2 months looking for his son.
Yep,
absolutely. That's pretty
straight.
Well, I'm sure he's in a hotel room, but he was there for 2 months.
Wow.
Paul Deans was told during his investigation, the gentleman we were talking about, the 411 gentleman, that wild men live in the park. And
these wild men are sure an epidemic, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. And 12 other people have disappeared in the same area, and the FBI. This is crazy. 12 other people have disappeared in the same area, and the FBI agent that was monitoring those cases allegedly committed suicide.
Really?
Absolutely. Yep. That was really interesting. Now, this isn't the only place the national parks. I mean, we know about the suicide forest in Japan.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
You have that. You have
the
Philippines. They have another place there too.
And the Grand Canyon is known for people to go to commit suicide. They have like hotline booths set up that don't do it. Pick up this phone and it'll.
But you're talking about just jumping off the ledge.
Yeah.
So they would find the body.
Yep. I suppose, but not everybody would necessarily jump off the ledge. Maybe they'd hike back as far as they could and do something out there. Who knows? I'm not saying that explains all of it. Yeah.
It'd be easy enough to take a plane and just fly through there.
Yeah.
Unless it's a no-fly zone. I don't know. I don't know why it would be a no-fly zone. There's nothing in there.
Oh, just old ancient Egyptian ruins.
Oh yeah, that's right. We covered that before.
They know shit, right?
Treasure.
Like you go to a national park and they actually have you tell you can't go to a certain area. It's like it's a national park, like you can't come in here. And they'll have guns. And it's like, well, then you're hiding something.
Yep.
So I'm sorry. The topic's interesting enough. I got to be honest. I'm probably rambling a little bit here, and I'm trying to get back on. But yeah, so the FBI agent, he allegedly killed himself. How many times did we come across the alleged, suicide? That happens quite a bit in our topics.
He probably pissed off one of the Clintons.
Oh yeah, that'll work too. Whichever way you want to do it.
So here's some strange similarities between all these disappearances. Most of those who have disappeared are children aged 20 months to 12 years, like I said, 74 to 85. Oh yeah, not one person was carrying a firearm, and only one was carrying a transponder device. So I thought that was pretty interesting. 50% of the children go missing are found dead. The ones that are found miles away. They disappeared in areas seemingly impossible to get to on their own. Like I said, I mean, it's just crazy. The majority of children who have disappeared had dogs with them. I thought that didn't come across too many of them, but I read it here, so I don't know.
Were the dogs dead too?
I didn't. Like I said, all the research I did, there was only 2 that had dogs. One, the dog came back without the boy, and then the other one was the dog was found like cowering. It was scared, and it just kind of like cowered into a log or something. They came across the dog with looking for the boy. That's the only 2. I know, of course, how many did I say there were? 9,000 or 1,000 or 1,100.
Quite a bit.
I did not read every single case file. I can tell you that much. Then in some cases, dog returned, but the children never did. Children are found alive. Oh, children found alive won't talk about their experience or say they don't remember what happened to them. They're usually found running a low-grade fever and appear traumatized. In all cases, the parents say the child was right behind them when they disappeared. Well, not all cases, because we just talked about the kids playing, but for this subject or this article, then the kids were wearing bright, colorful clothing. And when they're found without shoes on, but their feet were not scratched or bruised. So that would indicate someone being carried.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Yosemite National Park, with 45 cases, has the largest cluster of vanishings, and oddly, in most areas where the disappearances have occurred, huckleberries are almost always in great abundance. Why does that mean? I've read that 3 places.
Huckleberries?
Why does that? Does Sasquatch like huckleberries?
Apparently.
These are berries you can eat?
I don't know.
Yeah, you can eat huckleberries.
Oh, I've never heard. Huckleberry Finn is all I know.
I'll be a huckleberry.
You can be, right. You can eat huckleberries. Need a lot of sugar.
Yeah. Oh, see, I didn't know. I read that in 3 different articles, and I was like, all right. I thought maybe you knew about.
No, the Sasquatch huckleberry connection. First I've heard of it.
Next topic.
Yep. Yeah. I'll be looking into that a little bit.
A lot of places they disappeared, like Devil Lake, Devil this, Devil that. Of course, that's a little
What
bit
about
on there.
Devil's Tower?
Devil's Tower.
It's not on there, is it?
Probably not. In 95% of the cases, bad weather, strangers follow disappearance. They wash out the footprints and clues, making it impossible to carry and search. This is where tracking dogs are unable to find the scent. 90% of the cases happen in the afternoon. Oh yeah, it says searchers have been known to cover an area 100 times, only later to find the person alive, dead, or in the same place.
What cases are these that they're drawing these numbers from?
This is just the
1,100 people.
Well,
okay.
Yep. So
interesting.
I would almost like to draw a connection here because I brought up Montauk before and all the secret projects. I mean, think of all the kids that go missing, and then that could just be funneled into these programs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I could say that. Yeah, I could see that.
I think that's a bigger epidemic than some mountain men.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of things going on here. I think if you look at the age group, they're young kids, they're elderly.
I want the young kid thing because that's important because I've been looking at the secret space program shit a lot. They get them when they're young to take them to Mars.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. Okay. But
to get them acclimated a little easier.
Because they're not into the system that we got either.
Sure, right?
No. But if you boil it down to, like where I'm going with it, people get lost in the woods. It happens all the time. You have a young kid gets panicked They don't know what the hell's going to go on.
Sure.
They don't know to stand still, to holler. They don't know to not run. They're going to get scared, those types of things. So you're going to have that. You're going to have the elderly, the same thing. You know, they go out there, they break a hip or break a leg. I mean, these people can't crawl themselves. Dementia
is a big thing, too.
I don't think that they could get too far, but...
A couple years ago, I was we were called out to go look for a missing person, and it was an elderly woman that had dementia. She was probably in her, guessing 70s. When we saw her, she walked in her stocking feet 3 miles in the ditches from her house into town.
Oh my!
And you found her?
Yeah, she walked to the gas station. She had burdocks all over.
Who reported this?
I was her daughter. Something went to check on her, and she wasn't there.
So she just didn't wait a little bit? How long did she wait?
Oh, I couldn't tell you that. I don't know that detail. All I know is that she had dementia and she wandered off the property. And
sure.
So there was 3 departments going out looking for her, and she showed up. She walked into the gas station and sat down at one of the tables in the corner by the diner area. And and someone was like, "I think that might be the person you're looking for."
Wow.
Yeah, and she walked stocking feet in the ditch. She had grass stains all over her socks.
Well, yeah, with dementia, you don't know either. You're just going to go.
Yeah.
You got a point. You're just going to go. So you have that. So this isn't, okay, could it be Sasquatch? They talked about flashing lights and UFOs and a lot of these too. And yeah, there's a possibility for all that. Wild man, Sasquatch, bad weather. I mean,
bad humans too.
Yep.
I mean, there's obviously that element.
A lot of murders, right? That type of thing.
The suicides and not wanting to be found.
Very true. So that you have so much in this. Lauren did a great job. But when you say missing persons in national parks, there's so much inside of there. I would say that the conspiracy is the national parks don't release the information very readily. Mm-hmm. They're trying to keep it covered up.
Sure.
I'm sure. There's probably very strange circumstances, per se, like the wild men. I'd never heard of that until now. Maybe the Sasquatch, maybe the UFO. So you have all these like little subcategories, and then there's just like you said, bad humans. There's you get heat stroke, or you get dehydrated, you don't know where you're at, you have a tumble, you hit your head.
Yeah.
What was that one I talked about on a previous episode? The one up in Canada. It was Northwest Territories. That's on all the unexplored territory.
Yeah. Isn't that the one where the guys went in there and there's like hot springs? Yeah, the headless men. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yep,
like that.
Yep. The Valley of the Headless.
Yeah, that was good.
That's it. Yeah.
And so I mean, I don't know. So here's what I've kind of taken from this. There's probably some weird things going on out there. We know that. We don't do this show because we don't believe there's something strange going out there. But I guess what I would say is, in conclusion, would be if you're going to go out anywhere, because it's not just older and young, as 34-year-old men that are in great shape, and women are in great shape getting hurt or getting lost. So if you are going to go out, I would say the best thing would be always let somebody know where you're going and what time you expect to be back. That is one of the most important things to do. It's one thing I've learned. Anytime I'm going to go hiking or rock climbing or any of that type of thing, I tell my mom at least, I'm like, I'm going to do this today.
You can take it a step farther. If there's cell service, you could do the Find My Friends thing on the Apple stuff, or I'm sure there's equivalent on Android too, so that they'll know right exactly where you are.
I mean, the first rule in going into the backcountry is you never go alone, for one. And two, if you do go alone, exactly what you said. Tell somebody where you're going to go. Tell somebody what you're going to be doing and when you'll be back.
Absolutely. I mean, these are just really simple, but you need to do it. Always have a buddy if you can.
Yep.
Use the buddy system.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Always use a buddy system. Make sure you tell somebody. And a lot of these or a couple of the cases I read, the people left like their wallet and their watch and their wallet and their cell phone at their house because they're going to go on a run. They don't want to be bothered or whatever. No. Don't be an idiot. Don't cut yourself off from a safety device of any kind.
Yeah.
Now I'm a survivalist, so I got a 3-day pack in the car with machete and tent. I mean, I could live for 3 days at the very least with what I have. And it wouldn't hurt you none to take something out there, at all. And a lot of these people don't.
On my Apple Watch, I hold this down. Or it's this one. You hold this down, and then I can do the SOS. It'll call 911.
Really?
Oh, nice.
Just like that.
Yep. Oh, and if you're going out there, make sure you know where your people are at all times. That's really cool. That type of stuff. Because I to be honest, it kind of gave me a little bit of that. Do I want
heebie-jeebies?
Yeah. Do I want to go out to these places? Damn. I'm a big
but
fella,
you know what though?
damn.
To be abducted by Sasquatch, I'd probably die with a smile on my face as he's ripping my limbs apart, going, "I knew that grasshopper was
Yep,
real.
and then
you
nobody
know.
will believe you
Yeah, it
anymore.
doesn't matter anymore. Anyway,
Well, not to
but I
mention
know.
you have bears. I mean, you have mountain lions. You have a lot of these things. You know, a lot of the mountain lions.
And then you
they'll
got
attack from
hybrids that the
behind.
government built. These all mixing of chimeras of different species and all
yeah.
that shit.
I just read something about that. We should talk about it later. The bears, of course, especially when it's starting to get warm out and they had the cubs. I mean, you just don't want to with nature some days. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I want to kind of wrap it up, and I hope I did a good job. I liked it. It was just it's so much though. You know, most times like when we have a topic, it's kind of like just this, and then you can kind of go down that rabbit hole. This had so many branching topics to it. It was fun to research, but I really didn't feel I went down the rabbit hole as much as I kind of spread myself thinly over everything I could.
So Dusty, is your the chances of you visiting a national park affected by the research you did?
Slim and none.
That you'd ever visit one, or
But see, if I go, I'm going to go with a group of friends, or something like that. And I know. I mean, like I said, I'm a survivalist. I'm a veteran. I know a little bit about like the safety things. Like I'm going to tell people, hey, I'm going to head over here and take a piss behind this tree if I hear anything. If I'm not back in 15 minutes, Sasquatch got me.
what kind of piss are you taking if I'm not back in 15 minutes?
I'm gonna
man?
go fly out.
Wow.
I might go look for the perfect tree.
Yeah, I
But
guess,
that's
yeah.
just the thing. I've always kind of been that safety conscious because I've done a lot of research on just survival.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start reading about survival, you read about these people that go out, and if you get dehydrated, there's in New Mexico, a couple went out and they went camping or some crazy thing. They got severely dehydrated, and it messes with your mind. And he ended up killing his girlfriend by keeping her in a sleeping bag to keep her warm, but it was hot or something. I can't remember. And when they found him, she died. He was completely messed up. And they said, well, why didn't you drink they had cans of beans, and of course it has that liquid in there. And they never once opened up the can of beans to
Try to at least get some of that,
or even eat it, and they're trying to find their way out. So you have all these weird things that happen because your body is a system. It needs water, it needs energy, it needs air, all those things. So those things start getting messed up. So I don't know. I'm not going to go to a public national park by myself. I'll tell you that much right now. And if I do go with people, I'm going to be a little bit more safety conscious. But it's no different than when we all go out, to the bar or out shopping or something. I always want to know where everyone's at and make sure everyone's good, taken care of. So I don't think it should scare you. I think what I learned from this is that you should be more safety conscious when you go out.
Yep. If you think about it, think of we talked on average 90,000 people annually go missing. Only 1,100's in national parks. That means 88,000 other ones are everywhere else in urban centers and cities and things like that. So
people are
you're
getting
probably
picked up
safer out there.
Who knows?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Those fucking big cities, forget about it.
Oh, absolutely. Now, there probably is something weird going on out there. We all believe that that's going to happen, but I don't know. I think you can just get nabbed just as easily in the national parks as you could at 7-Eleven, I'm sure. So
They need to have statewide open carry, no problems.
Oh, yeah, that'd be all right.
But if you open carry, it at least has to be 40 calibers. 40 cals or bigger.
No,
I do 9 mil.
9 mil.
Is that smaller than 40 cal? I don't know that.
40 cal is pretty big.
This is what
I don't like shooting a 44.
25.4. Oh, yeah.
A 44 kicks like a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
9mm is so much easier, and it's lighter, and you can find it damn near. It's abundant. So 9mm, if we're survivaling, or storing. I'm not going to say prepping. Yeah,
all right.
9. All right. But I want to thank Lauren Hansen again. Thank you very much for the topic. I had a great time researching. I hope we all learned a little something. And at the very least, if you take anything out of this show, is be safe when you're out there. I mean, to be honest. So I want to say thank you very much. And Dan, you want to say goodbye?
Thank you for joining us again.
Pete's going to just, he's not
Adios.
Gonna say a word. He's just like, all right. Thank you very much.
He's
and
still tired from the chickens.
Yeah.
He's just going to keep on rubbing his head. He's like,
it is.
so
They are
buttery soft.
They are soft.
Buttery
He puts
soft.
the
It
lotion
is.
on the skin.
I didn't feel that once. They're pretty soft, man.
I don't know.
He's
Mine
just
is softer than
he,
yours.
He just has
Feel
supple
mine.
hands. You do have soft hands. All right. Anyway,
Just really say feel
need-
mine.
Okay, before we get too gay,
Yeah, I need to get the type of lotion you use before we leave tonight.
He
Make
says,
sure to write it
feel
down.
mine. Mine's softer. And on that note, I want to say thank you all for tuning in and watching. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.